Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be starting to take the sheet metal off of this tractor. It needs a lot of wiring. I'm going to have to pull the fuel tank. The fuel tank has a lot of junk in it, and all the wiring on it has pretty much deteriorated or been ripped off. This tractor, it was actually ran into a barn by somebody else, and it broke the front steering arm on it, and it bent the tie rods on it. So that's why the sheet metal in the front's real bad. And like I said, I need to get to the steering and be able to pull the fuel tank and get this thing running. So here I'm going to take all the sheet metal off of it, and I'm going to try to get it cranking and at least try to just get it fired up to make sure everything's good with the engine and I don't have any head gasket problems or injection pump problems, lift pump problems, anything like that. This was my wife's papaw's tractor that had passed away, and it's been sitting in a barn for quite a while, and then it actually got pushed outside for a while. That's why it looks pretty rough. But I had this thing running about 5 years ago down there on the farm, and I drove around the farm. It needs rear brakes. It has absolutely no brakes at all on this tractor. So we're pretty much going to be doing a full restoration on this tractor. I don't know if we'll get it painted quite yet, but I'm going to get it mechanically sound and running good. As you can see, my son in the video, he's pretty excited about it, and he's wanting to help fix it up with me and get it running. He calls it his tractor, so we're going to get it looking good, get tires on it, and get it mechanically sound. And once we get it mechanically sound, I'll have to buy some new sheet metal for it and probably go ahead and get it painted and just completely restored back to original. It'd be pretty cool. I know my wife and my mother-in-law, they'll be pretty happy about having this tractor back in good condition and being able to stay into a barn, and we'll actually be able to use it on a manure spreader, may pull a small bush hog with it or anything, just small task around the farm. It'd be a good little tractor to have. So I'm not running the 6610 all the time and having to hook up and unhook. So it'd be nice to have another tractor here to use around the farm. I think we may have a new mechanic on our hands. That's all my son wants to do. He's always wanting to tear into stuff, try to fix stuff. So I'm pretty excited about this. It'll be a cool project for me and him to do, something he'll remember and get to hold on to this tractor for a long time. So it'll be a fun project for me and him, and something he can look back on and hopefully keep the tractor in good shape, something he could be proud of and use it for years to come down the road. Here, since the tractor wiring it's in rough shape, I took my small jump box and jumped it across the starter and just added 12 volts to the auxiliary on it to get the solenoid to actually engage. I don't have this part on video, but when I first tried it, I actually was able to get the tractor actually started up for a second, but it ended up dying. It was spitting and sputtering, acted like it had fuel into the system. And I actually, looking into it more, the fuel line coming off the bottom of the tank going to the diaphragm pump actually was loose. Somebody had it loose, so I'm sure it was sucking a lot of air. So the tractor shut off, but it did crank good. Everything sounded good. Everything was freed up. Starter worked good. So that was a big plus for me. So I just continued to try for a couple minutes here to get it started, but that jump box only allows it to crank for 10 seconds at a time. So it's really not cranking long enough for me to get all the air out of the system. So I'm going to go through and replace all the filters on it, reprime all the lines, try to get all the air out at the injectors. I'll crack the injector lines, crank on it until I get good fuel at the injectors. And then we'll get it running and make sure everything is mechanically sound. Got all the sheet metal off this thing. It needs a lot of wiring done too, but I was able to get it to crank over by just putting power to the starter. It cranks over. It tried to actually start, but I'm sure I got to get this fuel system primed up. But it tried to light, and it's cranking good. So we're going to keep on trucking with it and see what we can come up with. Old Massey 165, I'm going to bring her back to life.